Hi, I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from Your Black World, and you saw that this year there was some craziness going on in the city of Baltimore after the shooting of or the police killing of Freddie Gray. They didn't shoot him, but they um, did some horrible things to him that led to his death. You saw a lot of turmoil in the city. You saw a lot of confusion, a lot of and a lot of growth as well in terms of people evolving in their responses to dealing with the incessant problem of police brutality. So, to kind of dig into this a little bit more, I wanted to talk to a brother who's right there on the front lines, who's a resident of the city, who knows the city well, Mr. Jabari Natur. How you doing today, man?
How you doing today, brother Boyce? How you feeling?
I'm feeling great, man. Feeling great. I'm glad to be talking to you. And I tell you this every time I talk to you. You actually manage my favorite female group on the entire planet, Watoto from the Nile. And I just I just think those what you're doing with those little girls is so extraordinary. In case y'all don't know, these are the little girls that just body slammed Lil Wayne a couple years ago. But even since then, they've produced so much amazing music. And it's funny because I was just thinking about Watoto today. But I think about the group probably once or twice a week because I listen to you guys' music. The music is literally genuinely good. But also, today I don't know if you saw Tyler the Creator went on Hot 97 and kind of said some stuff about me. Basically, he said, "Fuck Boyce Watkins, he's a bitch," right? And so people sent this to me, and I'm like, "Oh man, this dude's still talking about stuff from 2 years ago." So it made me think back to that situation, which led me to think about Lil Wayne,
Right.
which in Lil Wayne connects us as well because of what Toto did with Lil Wayne, and that was my first introduction to the group because of the way you guys wrote such a great song to really express what a lot of people are feeling about some of the music that we're seeing and the disrespect for women. So let me start by asking you about your girls, man. How are you guys doing? What's been going on with you and the girls?
Man, the girls are beautiful, man. You know what I'm saying? It's a bunch of them. My middle girl, Naya, in the group, Naya and Nira in the group, they graduated from the eighth grade, so they just graduated a couple days ago. So
All
they're pretty
right.
happy about that. Two of them graduated last year. Nia and Mary of the group, they graduated last year. I mean, so they both are ninth graders this year. You know what I'm saying? So they all went to the same school together. All of them went to the same. So five of them went to the same school together. And the only one that's still in that school now is my little girl, Kamaria, who's the baby of the group. She's the last one in that school. But it was five of them going to the same school at one time. So I mean, they
Wow.
pretty close between them staying. I mean, I have those, even the ones that's not mine, they are mine too. You know what I'm saying? So I got them all the time. You know what I'm saying? And they just a joy to be around. It's a joy to watch them grow. It's a joy to watch them. Just yesterday, my middle girl, and Mary, of the group. You know what I'm saying? They'll get together and they writing a lot of their own songs. You know what I'm saying? Like, and their songs are like incredible. You know what I mean? So they'll call me. You know what I'm saying? I may just come in and call me on the phone, and I'm on my way home. And look, when you come in, we gotta hear the song. Gotta hear the song. You know what I mean? And the songs are like crazy. You know what I'm saying? So that I'm really excited about that. You know what I'm saying? Just to because before, of course, I wrote most of the songs. You know what I'm saying? The girls were delivering, but and they like writing songs, you know what I mean, doing stuff. But when I would give them pressure, like, hey, we want this song done, y'all, they would never, it just wouldn't get done. You know what I'm saying? So I was just like, I just let them with time, you know what I'm saying? And now they like, it's like, all right, we're gonna write a song this week, and they like writing a song like every week, and it's crazy, it's crazy. I mean, because the flow and you know what I'm saying, and the harmonies and the way because they started so young, you know what I'm saying. So to be in the, they understand the booth, they understand, just different things, and I'm loving it. So from where they could potentially go, I mean, it's like, I mean, the sky's the limit, So
I'll tell you, man. I actually reached out to you guys about creating a song for our Resurrecting Black Wall Street film,
yeah,
and I just trusted the creative process to you because I know you're one of the masterminds behind the group, and I know how talented the girls are, and how blessed they are to really just have your mentorship, because I just see them being just shaped into these really impactful human beings, and you guys sent me back the song, and I mean, we were floored. We were absolutely floored. I mean, I mean, the beat was like on point. The lyrics were extraordinary. It was well mastered. I mean, it was, it was not just as good as anything you'd hear on the radio. Better, far better than. I mean, just extraordinary. And I know I was influenced literally to the point where when I hear that song, I get pumped. Like, and I
Right.
mean, and
Right.
hearing the little girl rap, I don't even know which. I wish I could say which one was rapping, which one was singing. I don't know. You can help me with that, but I heard the little girl just rapping. I mean, and she had this just a soul in her voice, And then the next one was singing with the melody in the background, and I said, man, these are some superstars. These girls are amazing. So anyway, enough of that, man. I could talk about that all day. That's how I get, man. Just so you know, brother, whenever I meet people and I'm already a fan of theirs, I do
Yeah.
this. I'll just talk about how much of a fan I am. Like D1. D1 is one of my favorite
Yeah. Yeah.
artists.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I feel
man.
you. Lately.
Yeah, it was kind of funny because D1 came to meet me, and it was like I think just kind of on a friendship tip, but also because I'm a little older, kind of an advice tip. So he's a
Right.
fan of mine, but I'm a fan of his. So
Right.
I'm like, man, I love that album, that song you made. I'm rapping the songs, and well, Toto D1. I mean, that's like the wave of the future, and that's really kind of what I want to see in the industry. You know what I mean? We need that. Now, speaking of that, and just talking about the Black Wall Street theme, and first and foremost, I think people should know I'm coming to Baltimore. You and I are going to get together and do an event at your venue at the Pleasant Hope Baptist Church on June 27th. Now, tell me, you know. We know what the Black Wall Street film is about, in terms of what happened with the riots in Tulsa, Oklahoma in 1921. I don't think it can be missed that, Baltimore is sort of the latest in terms of riot conversations. So, how do you think this conversation about this film and just these ideas fits into the current climate in Baltimore right now?
Well, I'll say this. Here in Baltimore, you know, what I mean, you hear about the murder rate and how crazy things are going in Baltimore. And I put up a post the other day that I'm saying, look, ain't nothing going to stop until we able to try to build something like a Black Wall Street again. You know what I'm saying? To try to rebuild businesses in the Baltimore area so that we can provide jobs and social programs for our people suffering right now. You know what I'm saying? And it ain't going to change until we get that mentality that's like a Black Wall Street. We have to build up these black businesses. If we don't build up the black businesses, we can't help. These people here not looking to help our people. You know what I'm saying? Everybody looking to profit, get money from our people, send them to jail. You know what I'm saying? And many different things. They get ready to build another jail coming up soon, a youth jail. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? And that's what they're into, getting our people to those jails. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? And getting them hooked on these drugs. The prescription
Whoa,
medicine.
uh oh, I'm hearing some music. Are you hearing that music? Okay,
Who
did
me?
you did you wait? Did you hear the music just now?
I heard a little clip of it.
Oh, okay, yeah, man. Somehow, a bunch of music came up, but I closed the browser, so one of these browsers must have started talking for some reason. But go ahead,
Oh,
please continue, brother. Anybody listening, I apologize for that. Just,
okay.
just chalk it up to the Boyce Watkins ghetto problems. So go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Right, right. No, I'm just saying that, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? So that's what has to be pushed right now. You know what I'm saying? We have to inspire young people, you know what I mean? Same way that we do with our girls Watoto from the Nile, you know what I'm saying? With many different businesses, you know what I mean? With them selling CDs, DVDs. We also have our kale business where we make kale chips. You know, we take kale fresh from the garden, we cut them, we clean them, we season them, we package them, and we put them in stores. And we've been in like 10 different stores here in the area, you know what I'm saying? But teaching them how to be entrepreneurs, you know what I'm saying? Much like what Dame Dash was talking about, teaching people to be bosses, you know what I'm saying? And we definitely have to get back to that. And that's the only way that things are going to change, you know what I'm saying? That we going to have to stand up and we going to have to make a change, you know what I'm saying? Now, you talk about the riots, you know what I'm saying, in 1921 in Baltimore, nobody shot at the police. You know what I'm saying? They didn't do any shoot. No shooting went back and forth. No exchange went back and forth. I mean, they did some things to get some attention here in Baltimore to shut the city down. Like, you know what I mean? And sometimes you had to do things to get attention. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, but, you know, nobody got killed. You know what I'm saying? Within the rebellion, as I call it. But you go to Tulsa, Oklahoma. You know what I'm saying? And they were specifically going. I mean, they were killing men, women, children, burning down houses, dropping bombs. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Just all out, just hatred. You know what I'm saying? Our thing was we were seeking justice. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Here in Baltimore. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of these young guys, young women, if you give them a chance, they'll change themselves around. Now, let me tell you, I mean, it is real. A lot of them have bad habits, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Not prepared to go and work in a specific job because a lot of them have drug problems, drinking problems, different things. So when you take one of these youth or people off the street, you got to take them and put them through a process. I'm not saying as strict as the Nation of Islam, but it has to be some kind of process to actually change the way that they think, because there are a lot of people that I know that youth advocates that have gotten a lot of jobs for a lot of the youth. And one brother, he just passed away about a year ago. He was getting a lot of the youth jobs, and he said, "Man, Jabbar, you gotta help me out, man." He said, "Oh man, I love the youth, but the youth embarrassing me, man. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm getting them in the jobs, and when they get there, they cursing out the managers, they cursing this one out, you know what I'm saying? Because they don't really know how the ethics. They don't really know how to have a job. They don't know how to be subordinate and how to stand down. You know what I mean? They got all this aggression that they ready to go through. So we got to get our people, our young people, and some of the older people, and train them. We gotta train them. And some they've been they've been having bad habits for years. So we have to retrain them so that they can go in and learn how to get jobs. And for those, and some of the ones who are entrepreneur by nature, we got to teach them how to nurture that and how to put their money into something that's going to help them and help the community. You know what I'm saying? So Black Wall Street is very important. It's very important concept that we need to build on that.
Yeah, I mean, it is funny that when you talk about our young people being trained and stuff like that. I mean, it's crazy because the criminal justice system trains them to be criminals. And it trains them by beating them into submission. Really demoralizing them, breaking them down, and indoctrinating them into a way of thinking. And that's unfortunate that that's the kind of training that they're getting. And then they go into the educational system, and that ain't nothing but prison with training wheels a lot of times. I mean, a lot of schools are run the same way a prison is run. And it's just it's so unfortunate, the way our children are just kind of taken away from us at an early age. It makes me think about when I was reading about what they used to do to the Native Americans when they were trying to civilize, quote unquote, civilize them. They would take them off the reservation as children, take them to these white schools. If you got caught wearing any ceremonial dress from your tribe, you were punished. If you were speaking your tribe's language, you were punished. Any of your tribe's rituals, you were punished. You were trained to be a white man, and then you were put back in your community and given a job, with a little status, because they were like, we want to take these children and teach them how to be what we need them to be, right? And that, to some extent, we have a similar process. I think what's different though is that Native Americans, at least at that time, they knew what was being done to their children, and they didn't like it. We don't know. And we accept it. We think our children are better off when they're being taught to be white, right? And it's a scary thing. I want to ask you about something, man, that you mentioned. We were talking. You were talking about some extraordinary things that happened with the Crips and the Bloods in Baltimore in the middle of this riot. I mean, we saw the Fox News version of what's happening in Baltimore. Oh, those niggas done lost their mind, and why would anybody burn down a store? Like, what's wrong with these people? They're criminals, right? Whatever. We know what Fox is going to say, but there was the real story, and people like yourself and others were sharing the real story. I think Albert Phillips, is that his name? The brother. Are you familiar with that name? Yeah, your brother's. Yeah, I mean, just cats that were just sharing what was really happening. And it was actually a very touching story that showed we actually have overcome some things. And you mentioned one in particular about the Crips and the Bloods. Can you tell me about that?
Man, the Crips and Bloods, like I said, we went out to the streets. You know what I'm saying? Crips and Bloods and the BGF. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Black Gorilla Family. They were all one. You know what I'm saying? They joined together. I mean, these brothers were smacking hands, and you know what I'm saying? They put patrols out. And let me tell you, the day when all the burning and stuff was going on, they hit the streets along with the Nation of Islam and other black organizations, you know what I'm saying, during that time. And the talk was no black businesses. You not touching no black, you know what I'm saying, no black businesses, as they were leading a lot of the people from the neighborhood. Now, there was very few, some, you know what I mean, things that happened to black businesses, you know what I'm saying? Very few incidents. But they wasn't going after, if you, so put it like this, Korean, Arab, whatever businesses that's in the community, if you had been disrespectful, you know how they be disrespectful, you know what I'm saying? Hey, yeah, no penny, you know what I'm saying? Whatever, no penny, and all that stuff, you know what I'm saying? And getting smart and all the stuff that they had done, that wasn't a day for you to be around in the community, because it was like on some like, hey, you know what I mean? If you in this community, now it's payback. Remember what you said? Remember when you would let us go for that 50 cent, you know what I'm saying? And blah, 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 you know what I'm saying? So that was the vibe, you know what I'm saying? But it wasn't aimed towards black businesses, you know what I'm saying? As they were going down that corridor down North Avenue, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh no, that's a black business. Oh no, that's a black business, you know what I mean? And the unity there was very deep. You know what I'm saying, man? I mean, it almost made me cry. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, man, they got more unity than so-called, you know what I mean, in the conscious community, people that talk about, you know what I'm saying, coming together, they more unified right now. You know what I'm saying? And even the actions that our young people had taken, you know what I'm saying, they gotten more done. You know what I'm saying? From my little 20 years of being in this movement, you know what I'm saying? Like we always talked about economic boycotts and stopping them going for the baseball games and all that kind of stuff. I mean, you know, here you had the first time ever that you did a baseball game, that's two baseball games with no fans at all, no fans inside of the baseball stadium. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, man, you know what I'm saying? They scared, you know, what I mean, they shocked the world. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? I can't say that, you know what I mean, that I was proud. You know what I'm saying? That, you know what I mean, that they took a step. Because I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes when um, you know, you write the music and listening to the music that's coming out over the airways, and you look at our children and you look at them, you know what I'm saying, and they're walking around, and you like, man, do we have a chance in the world? You know what I'm saying? And then you see like them take to the streets, and then you hear them talking. I mean, the young Crips, you know what I'm saying, the young Bloods. I mean, they was one dude in particular. It was one little dude, and uh he had some problems, but the little dude was strong, and he was talking. You know what I mean? You know, blah 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 blah. And we got to stand up for our own community. You know what I'm saying? If you living around here, if we don't earn, then it's going to burn. You know what I mean? And like they was talking like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? And it was like, you know what I mean? And so and then at the end of all this stuff, he said Black Power. Black Power, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, you know what I'm saying? It was, I mean, I'm telling you, man, it was a sight to see. So I mean, I know y'all was giving one thing, but a lot of these young people knew exactly what was going on. You know what I'm saying? And they wasn't just out there just being ready. There was some people, of course, you know what I'm saying, just going, jumping on board or whatever like that. But those the Bloods and Crips and, you know, BGF, they were very responsible in trying to lead them in the right path, in the right direction with all the stuff that was going on, which is one of the reasons why a lot of people think now, you know what I'm saying, that the violence came in right after that real heavy, was because it was almost like on some get back from the police, COINTELPRO, like, hey, look, we need to reinstigate some beefs. We need to reinstigate, you know what I'm saying, some things that's been going on in the community, you know what I'm saying, to get some things off, you know what I mean, to get them back fighting with one another again. Because, you know, in the Rodney King riots, the gangs had truce back then. And one of the things that the Bloods and the Crips were saying, that police were actually going and doing drive-bys, were trying to claim that the other groups were doing the drive-bys, you know what I'm saying, and restarted a lot of the beefs back up, you know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of theory going on here in Baltimore, you know what I'm saying, you know, with so far as the police being involved and a lot of stuff, you know what I'm saying? And I mean, it's crazy, you know what I'm saying, because some of these killings that's going on, man, I mean, they got one killing with a little girl, I mean, a little boy, 7-year-old, and his mother got killed. And you know what I'm saying? Like when you look at it, this was like a week and a half ago, man. It's a very sad situation. But whoever went in and killed them, they went in one room, killed the mother, in one room, and shot the child in the head. Now, you know what I'm saying? And we looking at these style killers. I mean, you know, a lot of times, you know, when they shoot, they just go and spray and just shoot everything up. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I mean? And the child gets shot by mistake. You know what I'm saying? But these are like instances where, you know what I mean? I mean, child shot in the back of the head, like, I mean, this aggression, you know what I'm saying? Like, we haven't seen, you know what I mean? So it's like, it has a lot of people looking like something ain't right. Something is going on, you know what I'm saying? And the way it's coming right after these rebellions, we think it's a lot of get back, and definitely a lot of, hey, let's put them back to sleep. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Let's do whatever we can to spark beefs or whatever in the community. So, yeah, it's deep, man.
Wow, that is deep.
That is deep.
What's funny is that you talk about just the unity issue, and how you were saying that that the Crips and the Bloods and just brothers just on the front lines were more unified than a lot of the so-called leaders have been. That's really saying a lot, because right now when I'm looking at political leaders, there's not a lot of unity there among black political leaders. From what I understand, Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson, guys like that can't really even come to those cities where things are happening now, because so many people have lost confidence that they can get anything done. Especially when you talk about Sharpton's close relationship with the government and stuff like that. Then you move over, the scholars are fighting. You saw Cornell and Dyson, going at it, which, Dyson wrote the article, but, there's a little bit of back and forth there. And even in the conscious community, you've got controversy, which I'm not going
Sure.
to speak much on that, but you've got some of that going on right now, where people are starting to question certain, conscious people, like what are you really into, what are you really out here trying to do, and so I'm curious. I want to ask you this question. What have you seen, when with in terms of the political leaders that typically show up on the scene when things like this happen, mainly Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, and then a few others, not just to pinpoint those two, but what's the talk in terms of people's reaction to when Al Sharpton came to town and stuff? Did he come to town? Did he come to Baltimore?
I think he kind of tipped in here for a minute. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I don't think he stayed long. I
Mm.
mean, man, the people don't like Al Sharpton. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, you know what I mean? I mean, you asked the thug is a thug. Like I said, I work in a barber shop all day, so I cut everybody's hair. You know what I'm saying? And the minute you mention Al Sharpton, they be like, oh man, nah. But you know what I mean? It's like, you know what I mean? It's like, dang, you know what I'm saying? Now, I personally, you know what I'm saying? Like, I like a lot of stuff that Al Sharpton says. You know what I'm saying? Some things that he's done in the past, but I understand, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? From a lot of his, from things that he's been tied up, and you know what I mean? Like people don't want to deal with him at all. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, yeah. So them big guys, them big names like Baltimore wasn't really trying to hear, you know what I'm saying, a lot. You know what I'm saying? And he definitely, I'm not aware that he went through that main corridor. You know what I'm saying, on Pennsylvania and North Avenue. I don't know how brothers would have responded. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if he really went there. I think he went somewhere close, but I don't know if he went there. But like, but I don't know. He's gained a lot of distrust like through the years. You know what I mean? Like a lot.
Well, I did see him with the mayor, Stephanie Rollins Blake, and that was the only time I saw him in Baltimore, at least through the media, right? And that leads me to another question that I'd love to get your take on, man. Is what a lot of people see when they look at Baltimore is they see black people at all levels of society, all levels of government, and so I think for some people it's harder to understand, why the riots might happen if your mayor is a black woman. You've got some other people, at certain levels, like Marilyn Mosby, who a lot of people seem to approve of and are very happy with. Um, a lot of black police officers. I think when they saw the mug shots of all the cops who were involved, they saw mixed race there. Can you give me your take on just kind of how those conversations go when people talk about this? Like if I was to go into the barbershop and say, "So what about the fact that your mayor is black? You got a black person, black person." What do you think people are going to say?
I mean, let's be real, brother boys. I mean, to be real honest with you, you know what I'm saying? Like the mayor, she ain't got no power. You know what I'm saying? She don't control nothing. You know what I'm saying? And she, you know, I mean, her going on the TV calling everybody thugs and this, that, and the other. You know what I'm saying? Like she has absolutely no power. You know what I'm saying? She's been, you know what I'm saying? She's been told what to do, what to say, how to do it, when to do it. You know what I'm saying? And many of the other black political leaders that's so called had some so called power. You know what I'm saying? They can't say or do anything. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So like she just like a I mean, yeah, you know what I mean, she's a sister that's there. She's a face. You know what I'm saying? I mean, no disrespect like Barack Obama. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like it's what can he do? What can he say? You'll hear him on there giving those wonderful speeches about what he's gonna do over in other countries, you know what I mean? But right here in this country, you know what I'm saying? And it's always you have to be peaceful. He called them thugs too. You know what I'm saying? You have to be peaceful, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? He say that, and then at the same time, he go drop bombs and, you know what I'm saying, and different things, and, you know what I mean, in other countries. You know what I'm saying? But you don't see him over there organizing peaceful protests in other countries. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, just, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? So a lot of these people, they say all of that stuff, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, these folks, I mean, they absolutely have no power. You know what I'm saying? So they just working for a system. Now, if we organize ourselves in a way that's correct, you know what I'm saying, and organize for power, where we start to control some things, we can have a lot more say. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I really love what you're doing with the Black Wall Street thing, because if we have some power, then we can control some things economically, and we can say, hey, this is what we want done. This is how we want it done. But because we don't really have power, then we just sit back as a powerless people, and we wait for them to come up with verdicts and do certain things, and they control those people. You know what I'm saying? Stephanie Rollins is, you know what I'm saying? She's controlled by, you know what I mean, the folks that run Baltimore City. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, what can she do? The real deal is, what I say with people even pointing the fingers at her, Rollins, Blake, or whatever, it's what we gonna do. You know what I'm saying? And if you look at yourself in the mirror as a part of the solution and stop looking at one person like Stephanie Rollins, if you look at yourself as part of the solution, then we can make some things happen. But stop blaming everybody else. Stop looking, you know what I'm saying? But when we do what we supposed to do as a collective, as a community, build this community, then we can start to, you know what I mean, look at people like Rollins and really have enough power to go run up on her and say, hey, whoa, this is what we want to happen. You feel what I'm saying? And that's real.
All right. Well, I love it. I love it, man. Less begging, less borrowing, more building, and that's what it's
Exactly.
all about. Well, I love it, man. I think that what you're doing in your community is extraordinary. I love what you're doing with your girls. What they're becoming under your tutelage, and people should just know you got to check out Watoto from the now. Even if you don't necessarily, even if the music ain't your cup of tea, go buy a copy of the album. It ain't gonna cost you more than, it ain't gonna cost you what it would cost you to go to Applebee's. So support these sisters. I mean, please support them. And in fact,
All right.
what's the website people can go to where they can buy a copy of your latest album?
Well, you can get it through iTunes. You can get it through what's the other major? It's in pretty much all of the
Is
major.
it like CD Baby or something? Is that
You can go to CD Baby. You can go to
okay?
iTunes. It's in pretty much most of those major stores. Trying to think of the other one that it is. I can't think of it, but it's in most of your major. If you Google what I told you from the now, I want to say this though: most brothers are biased towards getting what I told you from the now album, especially if they have sons. Because what they're doing is like they look at, oh man, these little girls, man, I ain't buying no little girl music for my son. You know what I'm saying? And mostly brothers are biased because a lot of brothers don't buy female artist music anyway. A lot of brothers don't. You know what I'm saying? So they kind of biased. Like, man, what these little girls gonna tell me? Whatever like that. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? And I try to tell a lot of them, look, that's little girls, but you know what I'm saying? Remember, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm guiding them. You know what I'm saying? So I wrote a lot of the music. So when you know what I mean? A lot of the music is for men, women, and children. You know what I'm saying? It's for the family. You know what I'm saying? It addresses things from the family. But so some guys won't give it a try because it's like, hey, this little girl's rapping. Man. You know what I mean? They think it's just like some little cutesy little project or whatever like that. You know what I'm saying? But I'm trying to tell them it's a ministry, man. Like we talking about family problems. We talking about motivation. We talking about inspiration. We talking about history. You know what I'm saying? And what your child may need. You know what I'm saying? Like in order to like focus with me, because man, I listen. Look, to be honest, I would say the local radio stations here in Baltimore, hypocrites, because what they'll do is they'll talk about, hey, y'all, we got to stop killing each other. We got to stop the violence. And then they'll turn around and then they'll play Bobby Shmurda. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Talking about, what I mean, killing people. Or they'll play Dej Loaf. I don't know if you know who that is, the young female artist, the one talk about let a nigga try me. I'm going to kill his whole family. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and these songs are played on a regular, you know what I'm saying, on a regular basis, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Then they'll come back on, we gotta stop killing y'all. We gotta stop killing one another. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? The contradiction, you know what I'm saying? And what, folks are saying, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, man, so.
Well, what people don't know, man, is they forget about the difference between verbalizing what you want and creating what you want, actually
Right,
doing what you want. We sometimes get caught up with some sort of mysterious. It's like paralysis of analysis, except you're not actually analyzing. You're just verbalizing, right? You say, well, we need. It's like we need to stop the killing, but yet I'm gonna play this music that's going to promote homicide in my community. What the hell's wrong with you? Like that's
right,
just stupid. Or I'm
right,
gonna pray for this thing to get better, but I'm not gonna do nothing about it. I'm just gonna sit and pray about it, as if
right,
prayer is actually going to make create the result that you could create for yourself. that's
right,
that's a you have to be trained to have that kind of psychological and physical rigor mortis. I mean, you really have to be brainwashed in order to think that way. And I agree with you. I mean, it's ridiculous, and we don't like to call ourselves out and call each other out on that kind of hypocrisy. When you do that, you called a hater, or whatever, or you're like kind of it's almost like if so, it's almost like what we do with each other is the equivalent of somebody saying, I need to lose weight. Now pass the chocolate cake, right?
right, right,
Right, and,
right,
and,
right,
and, and then if somebody comes up and says, well, if you want to lose weight, you shouldn't eat a chocolate cake every day. We'll be
right,
like, oh man, you just being a hater, man. Leave me alone, man. Don't. That's my business what I'm gonna eat. But then when you eat the chocolate cake and you weigh 500 pounds and you got diabetes, you about to die. You like,
exactly,
Lordy be, Lord have mercy. How did this happen to me? I was praying to Jesus to make my diabetes go away, but it just didn't go away. But No, no, you answered your own prayer when you picked up that piece of cake and shoved it in your face. I mean,
Exactly.
just being real, like what the hell is wrong with you? How can you not disconnect the fact that you were eating chocolate cake every day to the fact that you got diabetes? You know, seriously. So I just think that what I like about what you do is that you're part of the new generation of leadership where you understand the importance of engaging in assertive, proactive initiative to build the things that you want, to make the world into what you want it to be. You see what I mean?
Right.
Like you said to yourself, I got these daughters. I want my daughters to be queens. They ain't gonna be hoochies. They ain't gonna be on the stripper pole. They ain't gonna be out here, getting in all this thug shit that the little girls are getting into now. That's not gonna be my daughters. And you didn't
Right.
just pray for it. You didn't just hope for the best. You didn't just do one thing and say another. Because parents
Right.
do that. They won't push their kids to get educated, but they'll say you need to get your grades up, or they won't give them constructive activities, but they'll say, well, you need to stay out of trouble, or they won't teach them about sex and love and all these things, but then they'll say you better not get pregnant, right? Again, all this talking but very little doing. You actually do, and as a
Right.
result, you're building your daughters into these amazing human beings that are going to go on and lead and light the way for so many other people. And I just think,
Right.
and that's what I like about your leadership is that you just understand just that basic idea of execution. If you
Right.
do not execute, then it doesn't matter what you say. It does not matter what you pray for. It doesn't matter what you hope for. None of that's going to come to fruition because you ain't done shit. And
Right.
that's just the
Right.
bottom line fact. So I'm gonna quit talking, man. Because what you said just I think it just got to me because it drives me crazy too. And I think people need to start calling people out. I think we have to
Yeah.
be. What I like about some of what happened in Baltimore is I like the aggression. And
Yeah.
I think that's what we learned from Minister Farrakhan and other people in terms of just like you want something for your family, you take it, you fight for it, you
Right.
make it happen. And
Right.
anybody gets in the way, you ask them first. You politely ask them to move, and
Right.
then you knock them down. Right,
Right.
and that's it. Forget all this. We gonna be peaceful and quiet and pray and hope for the best and all. No, there's no pride in consistent victimhood. None.
Right.
None. So
Right.
stop being proud of what you've overcome, or better yet, the fact that you've endured all this trauma that's inflicted upon you because you refuse to fight back. No,
Right.
you be proud of overcoming the abuse with assertive action and
That's
constructive
right.
action. So
That's right.
so that's it.
Right.
Building and fighting. Those are two
Right.
things that we want to put into all of our kids. You build things that you want and you
Right.
fight for what is yours because this world's not going to feel sorry for you. I'm going to let you get the
Right.
last word, brother. Please go ahead.
No, no. I appreciate everything you said. Like I said, and I'm definitely a big fan of what you do. And I've been watching you all through the years, and you know what I'm saying, how you've been fighting on the front lines, and what I mean, putting information out there. We really appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? That's why every time I tell the girls, y'all his favorite, favorite group, and they laugh and they get, they laugh, and they just stop playing. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm telling you, he said you favorite. You know what I mean? So they laugh,
Yes.
but we appreciate that. But man, we definitely like, and I get tired of it too. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, I ain't never had a whole lot of money. You know what I'm saying? Like, since I've been doing this stuff. You know what I'm saying? But one thing I got, I mean, I'm a Taurus. I'm stubborn. I'm hard headed. You know what I mean? I lock. You know what I mean? And when I say we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it. You know what I mean? And I pull from this, pull from that. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? I've had businesses. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been economically independent for what 18 years. You know what I'm saying? On my own. You know what I'm saying? And then we laugh a lot of times, but I sold everything from incense to dinners to oils, books. You know what I'm saying? You name it. You know what I mean? I've done it. I've sold it. You know what I'm saying? On a legal tip. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So but you gotta be a go-getter. You know what I'm saying? And that's the spirit that I do try to put into our people in general here in Baltimore, Tubman City. You may find if there's people here and we call Baltimore Tubman City, if there's people that don't like or don't care about Jabari, one thing they'll tell you, yeah, I mean, I ain't, I may not feel him or whatever, but one thing you'll hear is that brother is consistent. You know what I'm saying? He's consistent. He gonna keep coming. You know what I'm saying? No matter what. You know what I'm saying? If I just got just a little bit of energy, you know what I'm saying, and just a little bit of fight, in me, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna continue to fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, as long as God and the ancestors permits, we gotta fight. You know what I mean? We gotta make a change, man. It saddens my heart. You know what I mean? Really, really. Like, I mean, I when I wake up in the morning and I gotta cut the news on, and it's the same story over and over. 3 people shot on such such such. You know what I mean? One little girl shot. You know what I mean? Like I'm like, man, I'm devastated. I know a lot of people got used to hearing it. You know, and as long as it's not somebody close to them, they don't care. Get up and go to work as usual. I got to lay in my bed for a minute. Like, man, we got to do something. Like, we can't just let our people just die like this. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to save these babies. I got children. You know what I'm saying? And it's hard for me to keep them on that frequency, that Watoto frequency. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes they try to go off into the Daddy Loaf, you know what I'm saying, and the Nicki Minaj type of freak, you know what I'm saying? You know, I gotta constantly, oh, whoa, 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 over here, this is where you at. You know what I'm saying? This is where you at. You know what I'm saying? And it's hard. You know what I mean? It's hard with young black women, young females are really hard because if they adapt that attitude that's put out there, that cookie attitude from the empire, you know what I'm saying? And they adapt that, and I mean, they love her, man. They love her because she represents something for for them. You know what I'm saying? And it's like I don't like it. You know what I'm saying? So we fight against that. We fight queens. You know what I mean? That's what y'all queens. You know what I mean? Boom, and you know what I mean? And I'm constantly fighting, and if I catch them doing something, you know what I mean? I'm on them. I'm sitting down. You know what I'm saying? Because you know, like I said, they ain't perfect. You know what I mean? You know, and it's a work in progress. You know what I mean? But it's like, you know, and in many instances, you know, my children were being raised in the 2 parent homes. You know what I'm saying? So some things can go here and some things can go there. You know what I mean? And children know how to play things. You know, play parents against each other when you separated and all. You know what I'm saying? So that's been like a tough terrain, but even still, we keep fighting, man. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, I'm just so glad to have you come into Baltimore. So everybody that's listening in the DMV area, Virginia, Baltimore, DC, the seating is limited first and foremost. You know what I'm saying? You know, I mean, you want to get your tickets as soon as possible. Brother Boyce is going to be. Is this your first time speaking in Baltimore, or?
It's not my first
It's not
time,
my
but
first time, but
it's my first
it's my
time.
first
It's my first time in a long time.
time.
So
Okay,
I
okay,
don't remember the last time I was there. So it had to be at least 2 or 3 years.
2 or 3 years. Okay, so you know, what I mean, well, it's be first time speaking with our main organization, which is Reality Speaks Survivors Nation. You know what I'm saying? You know, being a part of that lecture series, and man, we just love that you're coming out. We love that we can get you out here. You know what I'm saying? And to paint the picture in our people's minds that you got to get up and get busy. You got to get up and get busy, man. I mean, like nobody's gonna save you. There's nobody's nothing gonna fall out the sky. I know a lot of people think it's gonna just fall out the sky. You know what I mean? Like you was just saying. You know, like my mom said. You know what I'm saying? She said, you know what I mean? If you got a toothache, you can pray, but pray on your way to the dentist. You know what I'm saying? Like you better, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Or like some of their people say, you know what I mean? Pass the guns, but what is it? Something, but what is it? Praise God.
Something about
Pass the
passing ammunition, but I don't remember
yeah,
that. I don't remember
yeah,
though.
whatever the statement is. But you know what I mean? So basically, while you praying and while you believe whatever you do on a spiritual sense, and you should do that, but get busy at the same time. You know what I'm saying? The Creator gave you this mind. You know what I'm saying? He gave us this community. We better figure out how to solve the puzzle. That's why we are here anyway. You know, we got to figure out how to solve this puzzle, get ourselves back on course, and build what we need to build for a greater future. That's pretty much all I have to say.
Right on, man. I love it. I love it. I love it, love it, love it, man. This is a great conversation, brother. I thank you so much for your time, man. This has been totally awesome for me. And everybody, I want you to know this is Mr. Jabari Natur. He is a great father, which is why this interview is great for Father's Day. We got to celebrate the strong black men in the community who are guiding our young people. There are millions of us. Stop believing the hype. There are millions of us. And he's also managing a group of very talented young ladies called Watoto from the Nile, Watoto from the Nile. And I hope that you'll just please go Google them right now and spend that $10 $12 or whatever it costs to buy a copy of their album. I guarantee you're gonna like it, but also you'll be supporting a good cause. I
I
would
tell you
vouch
what.
for. Say it again.
No, I would tell you one thing we got
Mhm.
going on too. You know, we always raising funds. We always doing that. You know, we never have enough. But with our kale chip thing that we do with Watoto from the Nile, we actually have a fundraiser going on right now. So they could go to GoFundMe. It's called Save the Kale because what happened? We got so many requests for these kale chips that we make. I mean, they all vegan, they all natural, and people love them. Like not children love them. So you can gauge them, you know what I'm saying? Children, and a lot of times they take kale chips over the cookies, you know what I'm saying? A lot of times, I'm serious. You got to see this, man. It's crazy, but we raising funds now, you know what I'm saying, to try to build that business right now, you know what I'm saying, with the kale chips. So you can go to GoFundMe, Save the Kale, you know what I'm saying? And you can actually friend me on Facebook, Jabari Natur, Natur. And you know what I'm saying, you'll see a lot of the stuff posted there. But that's one of the things that we have, along with the CDs. I'm just saying that's another initiative that we have going on.
Okay. Oh, well,
Okay.
I'm glad you brought it up. I'm glad you brought it up. So let's go save the kale. So it's GoFundMe.com/save the kale. One word or with a dash
Um,
between every word.
I don't know if it's a dash in between that thing. I think if you just press save the Kale, it should come right up.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay. So go to
yeah.
GoFundMe and search for the word "Save the Kale" and give a few dollars to that too. Just I mean, we give hundreds and hundreds of dollars to Walmart and grocery stores every week, and they ain't doing nothing for your community. Get his brother $15, $20, something. Give him 200 if you feel inspired, but just 15, 20 will be enough as well. And also, if you want to spend another 15, $20 on something that I think will be worth your while, I am doing one film screening of Resurrecting Black Wall Street. One film screening within the next 6 months is gonna be in Baltimore. It's going to be for this brother at the Pleasant Hope Baptist Church, and that is at 430 East Belvedere Avenue, and it's on Saturday, June 27th. The doors open at 6. It's from 7 to 10. I'm going to give a lecture, and then we're going to show the film, and we're going to have a conversation afterward. And we're talking about building. And even as the 2016 elections come up, I ain't thinking about no Democrats. I ain't thinking about no Republicans. I'm thinking about us. That's what I'm
Right.
focused on. That's what we campaigning on, is building up us. I could care less what these uppity Harvard Yale graduates are doing with their time. Not to say it's a bad thing to go to Harvard, but I ain't thinking about those people, not at all. So anyway, thank you, man. I really appreciate your time, brother. It was a pleasure speaking to you.
No problem. We got one more song coming your way too.
Yeah,
It's another song. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Another black for the entrepreneurship thing that we talked about.
yeah, yeah. I can't wait. Yeah, we'll tell people about that one later. That's my little
Probably by the
secret.
time you get here. Yeah, probably by the time you get here, we'll talk about that.
Okay, well, I can't wait to see that one too, man. All right, all right. Well, all
No
right, well,
problem.
everybody. This is Jabari Natur, manager of Toto from the Now. I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from Your Black World, and don't forget, we're also starting our Black Wealth Boot Camp in early July. You can find out more about that if you go to my website at boycewatkins.com. That's where you can put your name on a list to get information about the Black Wealth Boot Camp. It's going to be a 5-part interactive lecture series online where you'll talk to me back and forth about building black wealth, building black business, things like that. So please sign up for that too if you're interested. So we just giving you a whole bunch of stuff, and thank you for checking us out. I know this was a long interview, but I hope it was worth it. Until we meet again, please stay strong, be blessed, and be educated. We are gone. Peace.